So here's the very last section in writing, in nomenclature for chemistry. It's writing formulas from names. And basically, you just need to review everything you've done so far. Use your knowledge of the nomenclature rules that you've just learned in the last 3 sections to be able to write the chemical formulas when you're given the compound name. So if you'll remember, we have for type 1 binary ionic compounds, type 2 binary ionic compounds, where we write the Roman numeral in the name. Type 3 binary compounds, where we have 2 nonmetals, we have polyatomic ions, and we have acids. So if you'll review the rules that you've just learned with all of those different types of compounds, you should be able to write the formulas very easily. Okay, let's look at some examples. First, let's write the molecular formula for calcium hydroxide. Here's our name, and we need to write the formula. So when we look at this word, hydroxide should clue us in polyatomic ions. This is a polyatomic ion. And so remember, we're going to use rules very similar to the type 1 binary ionic compounds. So let's look at our cation first, the calcium. It forms a +2 ion. Then let's look at our hydroxide, our anion. It's OH -1. So we know that 2 anions are going to be required to form a neutral compound. So our formula for calcium hydroxide is right here, calcium, and then we have 2 molecules of hydroxide. Just a note, don't forget parentheses on the polyatomic ions when there are more than one of them in the compound, like this. We have 2 hydroxides, there's more than one, so we need to put parentheses around the polyatomic ion, and then we'll write the number in subscript of how many of those polyatomic ions we want to have in our compound. So you try. Here are a few: sodium nitrate, ammonium dichromate, mercury 2 iodide, barium carbonate, and magnesium bromide. If you pause the video, you can work those out and then look at the answers on the next frame. Well, here are the answers to those compounds. Sodium nitrate is written like this. That is nitrate is a polyatomic ion, so we need to follow the rules for that. And again, they're very similar to the type 1 binary ionic compound rules, and sodium and nitrate each have, sodium has a +1 charge, nitrate has a -1 charge, so we have just one of each of those. And this is the chemical formula that's formed. Ammonium dichromate is, again, very similar to the naming convention here. We have 2 polyatomic ions involved. Mercury 2 iodide, remember the 2, what it means. It means that mercury will have a +2 charge. Therefore, we need 2 iodide ions because iodide is only a -1 charge. Barium carbonate, again, there's a polyatomic ion, and then hydrobromous acid. That's going to follow our rules for naming acids. So this was a very short video. Hopefully you'll just be able to do a little bit of practice. Make sure you can write the chemical formulas. Those are generally much easier than writing the names from the formulas. So if you would like to look for advanced proficiency, here are just a few ideas for you. Come up with your own ideas. If you would, I'd love to hear about them, and I look forward to seeing you in class.